What's up, YouTube? Now, we recently did a review and a look through the Trailblazer survival kit. It's a very good, affordable piece of kit for beginners and experts. However, there are some shortcomings that I'd like to address and certainly some improvements I'd like to make. If you take your gear straight out of the store, you're going to find yourself in a bad situation. However, with just a little bit of thought, a little bit of experience, and a whole lot of practice, you will know how to turn a simple, cheap survival kit into something that can save your life. Stay tuned. So like I said, we just knocked out the Trailblazer survival kit review. Has many pieces of gear in here. A lot of them we're going to use. However, let's go ahead and go to the table and show some improvements and talk about why I have made them. If you've purchased this kit and you've assembled these other options, they are actually very common. If you have the SHTF survival box, you'll have the other items I add into this. Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so looking here, you see the original contents of the Trailblazer survival kit. It comes with a lot of good things and a bounty of good information. However, let's get real. We're not going to want to use this stuff all the time. First thing we can get rid of is the survival information. Now, having said that, you're going to want to read it and learn it and potentially practice it. However, space is going to be key in this kit at this point. This kit does not garner a lot of room. However, the kit is hard plastic and does have a waterproofed ring in here. Now, I'm not going to count on that. You're going to see why here in a minute. However, let's go ahead and trim the fat, as they say, and get rid of some of the things I don't like off the top. First things first, this whistle. A whistle is very, very useful in signaling. You can't beat it. Very loud to get your attention. I know my dog's head just snapped around to the side. However, this is a large whistle. Let's go ahead and start by replacing it with the Trailblazer brass whistle. This is sharper. Takes up a lot less room. Next, it does come with cotton balls. In full disclosure, these are not the original ones that came in the kit. I did practice this kit with some students not long ago. However, these cotton balls do come in a plastic bag, and they do have room available. What I intend to do is use some Trailblazer waterproof matches. I'm going to go ahead and put them inside my cotton ball bag. Next, they gave us a very cheap, a very small razor blade. Now, as a principle, these can be useful. This is not sterilized. Honestly, you would never want to use it to cut into yourself. And it's small. Let's go ahead and replace this with a larger razor blade. Now, on the topics of cutting tools, I went back and forth for a little bit. However, I did find for $1 a small folding knife. This one does have a serrated edge, a sharp tip, and a 90-degree spine. You will not want to use a razor blade to strike your ferro rod. You will probably end up cutting the edges of your fingers, and that could be very, very annoying. The pencil. Guys, I don't have a marker that will fit in this kit. The ones I do are not the markers I need. This pencil will serve no other function unless you have a pencil sharpener. You could use this to make wooden shavings, but then again, you could find a twig. Why waste the space? Kudos, guys. Give them credit where credit is due. They put us some brass snare wire. This can be replaced with a stronger gauge jewelry wire. However, this will do the trick. This will work very well in snares and for shelter building if you're constructing a ridge pole, possibly a debris shelter. So we're going to give it to them. Good job, guys. Button compass. Now, this is a very simple piece of kit, and for very simple methods, you can find your way back to your vehicle. I've talked about that enough. So let's go ahead and move on. This ferro rod. This is a very small, cheapy ferro rod. It does have a lanyard hold. In my experience, these plastic handles come off. This one does not while pulling on it. I may replace it with a small coglin. However, I prefer to keep those on my knife. With that said, we'll leave it here for now. Signal mirror. Invaluable. Can't go wrong. Very thin, very lightweight. Kudos. Small improvised sewing kit. We may have to add an extra needle or two to this. However, again, they did a good job. Your shirt, your pants might rip, your shoes might come undone. You can use this in suturing. You can use this in fishing if you're in a pinch. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the tea light candle and the book of matches. The book of matches is actually pretty good. These are wooden matches, very useful, especially considering paper matches limitations. You do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so matches, and it doesn't take up much space. Like I said, we did add waterproof matches to our cotton ball kit. Now, assembled, this kit leaves a lot of airspace inside here. And with that said, let's go ahead and talk about how I've altered this kit, what I've added, and why. First things first. Aqua tabs. Again, if you've watched the SHTF, you know I've got these in a monthly box, and I believe this is about 5 gallons worth. You can purify 5 gallons without fire, and if you're on the move or if you're trying to stay hidden, this is amazing. Next, a homemade fire nugget. It's nothing more than a petroleum jelly cotton ball inside of aluminum. Now this works for so many reasons. I'm not going to go into them all now. The fact that it's wrapped in aluminum foil can actually assist your fire building, especially on wet ground. Next, I want to address the fishing kit. The fishing kit it comes with has a few small sinkers, a little bit of fishing line, and some hard tackle and a couple fishing hooks. Well, that's good if nothing goes wrong. However, in my experience, things do go wrong. So what I'm going to go ahead and add, about 10 fishing hooks, 4 slightly heavier sinkers, and some bait. I'm not saying I won't have time to dig for worms if I'm fishing. However, I know fish in my area, especially the river fish, hit on these shads. And next, a small rooster tail. The head of it acts as a sinker, and again, it's proven in my area. Now, up to this point, we've really not added too much to it. We've swapped out a couple items, and we've added a much more effective cutting implement. Now, as far as inside the kit, that is about all I've added. However, the kit itself does have a small lanyard hole, and as we've all seen, lanyards can hide a lot of gear. They can store a lot of gear. So let me go ahead and pack this up real fast and show you that it does fit. Now, if you forgive me, you can tell in the background my neighbor is doing his yard work, keeps his yard very neat. I do try to do so myself, but we're not talking about yard work. Now, we fit as much as we could into the Trailblazer survival kit. We've added a lot of useful resources, not to mention a better cutting tool, water purification, a stronger fire-making base as far as the waterproof matches are concerned. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about a small lanyard holder. What we're going to use first and foremost is a 13-inch piece of paracord. Now, when I melted this, I pointed one of the ends so that it would fit through the small hole. I'll go ahead and feed that through. running it through, I will match up the ends as best I can. It doesn't have to be perfect, everyone. However, the neater your gear is, the more likely you'll use it properly. I will tie a small square knot into the end of this. What this will allow me to do is wrap it around my wrist in case I'm swimming, or I can attach it to my pack. Now, as far as simple goes, a lanyard and cordage can go a long way. Can't beat having a little extra cordage in here. With that said, I do have 2 other pieces of cordage that I'd like to add. First off is jute twine. Everyone knows I love jute twine. It's a perfect fire tinder, especially if it's waxed or coated with, say, petroleum jelly or things of that nature. Next, a little bit of bank line. Now, this bank line helps in fishing. Your fishing line will go a long way, and it will go a lot further with a little bit of bank line. This is 7 foot of bank line. I've got it wrapped in a little zip tie. Now, my first thoughts are, can I fit it inside the kit? This kit's already packed down pretty tight. Stuffed to the gills, I would say. If it fits, then we're going to run it just like that. Make sure that none of the plastic bags interfere with the seal on the edge. We will close it up, and boom, now we have a lot of extra cordage. It's inside the kit. It's already hard enough to see just in front of me. This high visibility paracord go a long way. Loops in survival, well, we've already done a video on that. However, the extra cordage, the inner strands, can be repurposed so many ways. Next, and very important, guys, you got to be able to see it in the dark, even if it's just something simple, a simple patch job, repair job. Maybe you're having to use your cutting tool. You could put this in your mouth, bite down on it, and it will light up your way. Now for this, we're just going to go ahead and slide this onto our lanyard, let it drop all the way down. As you see, the kit is not much larger than it began. You can barely even see it in the video. Last but not least, an underrated piece of gear is your quick clip or your carabiner. This can be fashioned and used in function as a pulley or as a pivot point, as a connection for tarps and ridge lines. The uses are warranted of a video. Spoiler. However, just for this kit, we may need to attach it to the outside of our kit, possibly to our belt. One never knows where it'll go. However, these are my modifications to the Trailblazer survival kit. Make your choices and decisions based on your knowledge. Recapping, I did add water purification, a better cutting tool, extra cordage. Now last but not least, so we have our modified Trailblazer survival kit. However, we do have these purification tablets. And everyone knows it's hard to purify water in dirt. It really is, guys. You can put a plastic bag in here, however, the space is already limited. You could put the kit inside a plastic bag. That would be a very good way to do things. However, a very common pre-sized bottle. This is 1 liter of water. These aqua tabs are good for 5 gallons of water. This 1 liter can be your way to measure and disinfect. So now we have our container, our cutting tools, our combustion, and our cordage. Now with this alone, you can get through it, guys. Learn shelter building, learn primitive shelter making. If that don't work, add a grabber gear space blanket, lightweight tarp. We've already minimalized the majority of your kit, and we've added extra as far as signaling and navigation. If you've read the pamphlets, you already know that there are so many ways to improvise survival. Without going too much further, everyone, if you haven't already, I'd like for you to like, comment, and as always, subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay safe.